Welcome to a Sunday program from Woodbine Racetrack. My name is Lisa Blow, and beside me is my best buddy 4 days of the week. That's Mr. Jeff Brad.
Who is it the other 3 days of the week?
Well, you know, the horse, the dog,
yeah, I was
that kind of
say.
stuff.
Okay,
you know,
I could play second fiddle
they
to
move
those
up
guys.
a little bit on those days. 10 races on tap for you this afternoon, as opposed to some of the cards we've had throughout the week with just 7 races, 9 races yesterday, but a full program for you today with 10. Lots of maidens on today's program. And the interesting thing today is we have a split of a maiden special weight for straight 3-year-old fillies. That'll go as race 7 and 8. And then we have a maiden special weight for 3-year-old and up for the girls. So there's so many girls on our backstretch,
Yeah, there is. And you know what, you and I love the maiden races too, because you know, you're just never sure where you're going to get. You know, you could have a potential superstar. You might have some that might disappoint, and trying to figure out that riddle a little bit, but maybe all we have to do is play Ryan Munger off the big day he had yesterday. You know, he could have won 5 races yesterday.
Crazy, right?
He won 3 and he got picked off late in the first and he got picked off late in the last. So he had a really good day at the office.
But you're happy about the one that won the last race.
I can't believe 5-1 on that horse.
Yeah, $12 and change for this magical trick, who won the 9th race on the program for Steve Attard, and Pietro Morin, who also won 2 races on the program. Patrick Husbands with a couple of winners on the program yesterday as well. You know what was kind of cool yesterday too was getting to see Ian Black with his first starter of the season. A good horse for that outfit. Talk to you later getting a win.
She looked fantastic, didn't she? I mean, it took a couple of races last season to get going, but she was traveling so nicely down the backside, and she won big for a real good guy, Jeff Menzie. He's a huge Leaf fan too, so that might help ease the loss a little bit.
Last night on the way home, I couldn't help myself. I wanted to watch Mohawk last night as well, because Chantilly, there's a lot of talk about her. She won, her 11th or 12th race of her career and might be headed towards the NA Cup. We'll talk about the NA Cup as we get closer to that, because we're not that far away. But first, we'll talk about what happened yesterday. Yesterday, I was really happy to see this. I think you were too, Jeff. We had a very fair racetrack.
I think it's a slower track, and Ernie kind of tipped us off to that when he told us that yesterday with how the horses worked in the morning, and I think we might have the same track today. But yeah, you and I, we just like a neutral racing strip when you can win from any which direction. That's pretty much the case yesterday. You know, the average win payout wasn't big. Favorites did very well on the cards. You know, we had some big favorites. Our Lady was a big favorite, 1-5. You had one of the Cassie horses win at 2-5 on the program as well. So we did have some very formful races on the program.
Now, this morning, cold again, you know, for our horsemen and our horses that were training today. And Ernie gave this track an interesting number today as well. He's rated it as a 3, which is very similar to what he did yesterday. Yesterday, he said prior to the break it was a 3, and then after the break he rated it as a 3.5. But what's interesting is yesterday, as he pointed out, the rail was the place to be. Even horses who were working, say, from the 2-path moved along onto the rail and were able to pick up some speed. We saw that happening with the races yesterday, and this time today, he says that he thought it was pretty much fair on both the outside and the inside.
I have a gut feeling that when DeWolf races for the first time this year, he will be on the clock report, because he's been on this board twice now this season. And how would you like to be Kevin Attard right now? He's got Mancetti, who looks to be a plate prospect. He's got DeWolf, who looks to be a plate prospect as well. I was actually thinking about this. It's funny that this popped up. So Harry Giddings Jr. and Roger are tied with 8.
Okay.
If anybody's going to beat it right now of our current trainers, it's either going to be Cassie or maybe a Kevin Attard.
Well, you know, Kevin's a young guy, right? And he's actually going to sit out for a few days, so maybe he's watching us from home, or hopefully he's enjoying a couple of days off. But yeah, he is sitting out on a suspension, a 3-day suspension. So you will see his horses go today, but you'll see them go under Darren Glennon.
Correct. He's got 2 very interesting horses on the program. And the other one's coming off a long layoff, and the Terra Racing Stable, they've had a great start to the season this year, so hopefully that role will continue with them.
But I think Little Red Domi is a bit of a headache, and we'll see him when he comes over, because last start when he came over, he kind of tipped his cards. He was really keyed up, and I even talked to Kevin afterwards. He said, he's just a bit too keyed up for me too. So let's see if we can keep him calm here today. But with this cool weather, it kind of lights these horses up a little bit. All right, we have a fairly busy program to get to, because we do have the 10 races to cover, but we want to remind everybody that hopefully, fingers crossed, will be on the grass next week. I don't know, Jeff.
The weather doesn't look great.
Mm-hmm.
It does not look good, unfortunately, but hopefully it will come up on Thursday. And I really want the last race to stay on because that's a really good looking race on the EP Taylor turf course. And enjoy the action on the EP Taylor while you can, because after plates, that's it for the EP Taylor, because it'll be closed down for renovations. And then the inside turf course will be so busy. So, yeah, I wonder now with us having such limited races on the grass on the EP Taylor turf course, if we have to be even more conservative with the condition of the inside turf course. If we get any rain, maybe it might come off a little bit easier.
Well, then don't forget, there's a lot of horses on this backstride that don't like the inner. They don't like the tight turns. They like the swooping turns on the EP Taylor, and vice versa. There's horses who love the tight turns on the inner and maybe aren't so crazy about the EP Taylor. And that's the beauty of having two turf courses to offer. But yeah, as Jeff pointed, we'll be doing some work on that after June.
Aren't you sick of seeing construction signs? Because you see them on your drive home. You're going to see one now on the EP Taylor turf course.
I know. But hey, we'll see what we can do. Alrighty, we got to get to this program here today because we have a busy day for you. And we're going to start things off in race number 1 on today's card. Now, we were talking about, horses who have won 2 in a row. We have somebody else got added to the list yesterday, right? But that was the Churcop horse that got added to the list. But we've had some really hot barns that we want to point out as well. One of the hottest barns here on the backstretch right now is the John Coriat outfit. From just a limited number of starters, I mean, they have a huge win percent going right now. And they've got a first-time starter here in race number 1 on the program.
Wow, looks good. And Sualagado Vive.
Sure.
That's what I'm going with. We understand it means legacy, correct? His legacy lives on.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool.
Yes. Yeah. So, but it's named after a girl horse. So I don't know. Anyways, owned by P413 Race. This one is out of a mare that's produced Trading Bay. That was a good one. Was able to finish 3rd in the Blade. And I've been blessed to work here for a long, long time. And I don't remember a John Coriat horse working as quickly as this horse is working, getting ready. Now, the outside draw with a first-time starter, not a huge fan of that, but we'll put this horse on top. In fact, I think S1 could win both halves of the double. Now, Forster's Exec was one that you were on first time out last year. Do you think potentially that she could round out the exactor?
Well, that's what I got, because, you got to remember, she comes from, and it's the same thing, it's the beauty of being here a really long time. She comes from a really fast family, that crazy Exec family, who's done nothing but throw speedball after speedball. They're really nice horses, and I was onto that in that first lifetime start when in this class, and we got a good 2nd place finish.
That 3-1.
Yeah, and believe me, I was tempted to put the horse on top, but it's hard to leave out John Coriat.
I know. And Cloud Rider is one that goes postal for Steve Attard, and maybe that win yesterday is a bit of a sign of things to come.
Maybe, possibly. All right, let's look at the second half of the early double. Race number 2 on the program is a maiden event. If they're in for tags, it's $25,000, and we're going to travel around 2 turns in this event. Calling Home will likely be the favorite from the DeRusso outfit, with Rafael Hernandez doing the riding, and this is also where we kick off the $100,000 guaranteed pick 5. How do you see this one, Jeff?
Well, I'm hoping 22nd try is the charm because I love the comeback race of So-Called Vacation. This was a horse that finished 2nd against one that you quite liked on this day, this being Contrivance, that was able to wire the field on that day. So Contrivance had a race under his belt. This horse did not. Now, a couple of things. You wanted to be speed and you wanted to be on the inside on this day. So Contrivance had a lot of good things going in his direction. But just watch our horse right here. Good rally on the inside to eventually finish in the 2nd place position. Now, I will say a lot of the Scott Fairley horses have not run up to expectations so far this meet. But I think this one exceeded my expectations last time out. And I really do think this is a route horse as well. We're going to get, this horse is still trying and just can't quite get there. But look at it, it's way clear of everybody else in here. Now, admittedly, I might be speaking with my heart more than my head in here because I hate playing horses that are 0 for 21, as everybody should, because they're terrible bets more often than not. But I just sort of saw something there that I liked a little bit. But you have to get a number if you like the horse's chances.
Well, there's lots of different selections. Like you've got the 3, I've got the 4, Doug's got the 6, this Pumpkin Boy for Churcop. The only thing is I don't like the reference to Isaac Leo now, not at all. And of course, we sent in our selections prior to that horse racing, so we'll see what happens. Ron going with the one horse, the Tiller horse, Adapted, who's making the second start, and also comes out of the Isaac Leo race.
And that mare's interesting because she was all sprints, but she's dropped 3 route winners, so it's kind of cool how things have kind of worked with that. So I could see why Ron maybe thinks that horse might be better going around 2 turns.
Well, we've had a few repeat winners on the 2025 season. So many, really, that it's become an actual oddity here. But in race number 4 on today's program, we got a couple of horses that are looking to repeat again, and that's Classic Dancer from the Bill Theranis barn. This horse is actually looking for 3 in a row. Last American Exit looking for 2 on the season here, and Enchant Me is looking for back-to-back winners, but we won't count it because the last win was back in 2024. But the horses looking for repeats are Classic Dancer, who appears to be speedy in this race, and a stalker in Last American Exit.
And here's a look at Last American Exit. Ran against Pine Knoll last time out as barmate. And watch right here, Lisa. Things are going to get really, really tight for this horse coming up right there. Have to put the brakes on a little bit. And now you're thinking, okay, the other Drexler horses had smooth sailing. Telestrator's acting up on me again.
That's okay. No one would know except for you and me.
So the 5 is trying. But right now, we'll keep an eye on the 3 horse in this spot. And watch this horse now trying to split horses here late. And it still looks like Pine Knoll's going to get it. But now trying to split in here is Last American Exit. And just takes it right away from Pine Knoll. And I find the old grizzly veterans, they can overcome trouble easier than the inexpensive claimers can, right? Because they win races, they know how to win races. Last American Exit was able to do just that. Now, the interesting dynamic of this race is you've got 2 Drexlers against a former Drexler horse in Classic Dancer. Now, we had Classic Dancer a long, long time ago. When the horse won last time, it was for Cat. But I think Classic Dancer might have a bit of a pace edge on this field.
I do too. I'm kind of interested in Classic Dancer. You know what those old horses say when they get into a jackpot? Hold my beer. Right? Like
this is fun.
Exactly. It is a game for a lot of them. You know what's funny? Years ago, I had my parents and we had a racehorse, and he was a really cool little racehorse, cheap horse, but a nice, cool horse. And we had a animal communicator come out and talk to him.
Oh, like a whisperer?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
And he said, I miss horse racing. He said, because I was just messing with them most of the time, and it kind of makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
So that's race number 4 on today's card, where we kick off the pick 4, which, by the way, Jeff and I got yesterday.
Cash.
We're rich.
We are so rich.
Alrighty, let's go to our next topic, which comes up in race number 6. Oh, I'm excited about race number 6 because this is the return of Dark Screen for Bev Chubb, and this really is her barn superstar.
Yeah, he's a cool horse, and full marks to her because he was able to win right at first asking, and they tried the Frost King. That didn't go well. Then he came back and he won against non-winners of 2. It's just the stake races that have not gone well to this point. Now, the barn traditionally takes a couple of races to get going, but this horse might be the exception to the rule in here because I do think this is probably one of the better horses that she has in her outfit in here. So that's a 3-year-old in this race. We've got Kakoa, who's a 3-year-old as well. And then we have this 6-year-old Awesome Crusader. And Awesome Crusader is eventually going to finish in the 3rd place position. So we're in between horses right now. And if I can identify 2 horses, we've identified the 7 here, but I also want to identify El Cohete, who's the 10 in this spot. And here's a look at El Cohete, who's right here. And, sorry, being finicky on me. Anyways, now we're going to split horses here. So El Cohete gets the front, and now here comes the other Drexler horse, this being Awesome Crusader. And Awesome Crusader is going to eventually duck towards the inside in here. It's never going to win the race, but I think when you watch this race and you watch how this horse finishes and watch the 10, I think the winter condition helped out the inside horse compared to the outside horse. That's what I wanted to show. So I think potentially today we could get these roles reversed, and I think El Cohete might get the better of Awesome Crusader. I think this field's come up pretty tough too, and don't forget that the winner of that last race, It's Time to Shine, has since come back to repeat as well. So that's a bit of a good frame of reference too. So Dark Screen, very, very popular pick. I'm going long shot shopping though. I think El Cohete is going to be a whole lot better here today.
I think the only concern I have is he's a 3-year-old, facing some older horses in here today, Dark Screen, but so is my second choice, and that's Little Red Domi, who I really, really have enjoyed watching race. I know you have too, but he was just a bit too keyed up in the paddock here last start out, and he ended up being a scratch. And you could almost kind of see that coming, that he was just a firecracker ready to pop.
May the 4th, May the 4th be with you was not with Little Red Donnie on that day. Came back to work a couple of different occasions. I don't know, sometimes I find like horses like him, when you have success early on, they know what's about to come and they get a little too excited.
That's 100% true.
They just get too excited. Yep. Like, oh, this is fun. Like,
well, or it's nerves.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the other thing.
I don't know if it's nerves with him because could be, but he's talented.
It's funny, like once they get used to the routine, they know what's coming. Because
100%.
Race day, you know, everything changes.
It's like any other pet. Like you with your dog knows when you're going to work, Bo's like this.
Yeah, well, hey, my ex-racehorse that became a show pony, he knew when we were going to the horse show too, because the same routine happens, right? As soon as those braids started going in, he was like, oh, here we go again. Race number 7, this is an exciting race because this is a split of, so we've split it. It's the 7th and the 8th race, a maiden special weight going 6.5 for straight 3-year-old fillies. And we'll get first-time starters in this, which is a lot of fun. You know, we like to kind of take a look at these first-time starters. First, we take a look at their pedigree, the workouts, everything that they offer for us on paper, and then we go out and take a look at them in the paddock, and that really helps us out as well. But Let's Go Super is the talk of the town here in race number 7.
Yeah, she's a daughter of McLean's Music, was a very good debut stallion, and the works are obviously above average. The mare didn't really have a lot of success on the racetrack. She only ran 5 times and she never won, but she comes from a really good family. This one's got a sibling named Get Rid of What Ails You that was a stakes winner as well. And there's a sense, you know, when you get home and you have like that favorite spot on the couch or your favorite outfit and stuff like that, just something comforting when Patrick rides for Mark. Because, you know, and I kind of like the fact that Patrick's riding this first-time starter as well. So I'm going to use that one. I'm hoping that North York might be a little bit better here in this spot. And there's a look at Roberts.
Oh, with his cap on, a jaunty cap.
Yes. Look at the long face on the Let's Go Super. I like that. That's
well,
great.
You know.
Why the long face?
Exactly. I was going to tell you the joke, but you basically got me to the punchline. And I think Robert visited someone else too in that race as well, and that's another first-time starter, Revelers Row, who will go out for Katerina Vasileva. Now she's picked up these TEC horses, and so far she's done pretty good with them. She had a nice win with them a couple of weeks ago, but this is one that she has, that Robert has gone over to meet, and we were talking to Robert on the show yesterday about it. He said she's got a barn full of horses.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this one, Elliot Logan's TEC Racing, they bought this as a Canadian bred, which was nice. They didn't pay a ton of money for the horse either. I think there's 37,000 American getting ready, so I really hope they've got a good one on their hands with that one. She Feels Pretty.
I like that one.
Lost to Our Lady, well, obviously is a great reference now, and that horse could be a whole lot better. And I thought Gail's 2-year-old ran terrific, Gail, in yesterday's program. I realize this is a 3-year-old, but then you have Catherine with Orion Beach. I don't think that one's a slouch either in this spot.
The split, of course, as we mentioned, is race number 8. I like Barb's horse in that race. We talked about that a few times. Alrighty, next topic takes us to race number 9, which is where we kick off the late double for you. And the 9th race is an optional 50, going 3/4 of a mile with a field of 7. A little bit of jockey juggling here as we see Savachi, who rode Lucky Score for Mark, go to Rapid Grey instead. Lucky Score now gets the services of Sofia Vivez, which is interesting because Savachi generally does ride this horse.
And Savachi usually rides Frack Dancer too. Now, Frack Dancer hasn't run here in a long, long time. So now you get a new rider in Pietro Moran. I'll tell you, this Frack Dancer, this guy is a runner.
Yeah, I missed him, you know.
Runner. Like, he is the type of horse that if you were too well behaved for this, but if you were ever in a barroom brawl, he's the guy that you want in your corner because he would knock the other guy out with one punch. Now, unfortunately, something went amiss after his race down at Gulfstream with the Texas Glitter, and we haven't seen him in a long, long time. Personally, at a low price, I think he might be a little bit vulnerable in this race, just coming off of a long, long layoff. I'm going to take the inside horse in here. Goes off the claim for Marty. That's obviously a great angle. There is some pace to chase in this spot as well. But there are some horses with back, like Lucky Score has over $500,000 in his bank card in here. We don't know how good Frack Dancer is going to be in here.
Rapportage could surprise a few people.
Absolutely. That 9th race, that's a tricky allowance race. But what are your thoughts on Frack Dancer?
I like him because a couple of things. Obviously he had to have surgery. We know that because Ron Geerkink wrote about that in the Daily Racing Form. They've given him more than the time that he needs to recover from that. And when Ron talked to Mike DiPaolo, he basically said you wouldn't even even know that this horse has had an issue in the past. Like he's like the old horse out there working. That's a good sign for me because if you get a horse, he's a great horse, he has surgery, comes back, and he's just kind of lost his sparkle a little bit. You know it, they know it. But if this one's come back with the same kind of pizzazz that he had back last season, then I'll be all over him here today. So we'll watch for Frack Dancer, but yeah, you're going with a horse who's moving up after being claimed, and that's the process. You got to move up after being claimed here. So race number 9 is how we kick off the late double. The 10th race on the program is a maiden special weight. That's another race for the fillies and mares, but this time we're looking at 3-year-olds and up. So, we talked about this yesterday. There's a lot of fillies on our backstretch that are obviously ready to race. I mean, we had on Friday, I think like 6 of the 9 races were filly races. We have a lot of maiden special weights today that are for girls. As usual, we're ready way ahead of the boys.
Always, 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 always. Now, plays of the day. Yeah. We'll focus on those now. I got Alcohetti's kind of my price play. If Alcohetti wins today, Jeff's gonna have a good day at the office. My watch list is so-called vacation. I realize a lot of chances, and I might be getting just totally sucked in with that horse yet again. My best bet is going to be Let's Go Super coming up in race number 7, and I'm just going to try and beat the horse coming off the long layoff with Sigiloso in that spot coming up in race number 9. So those are my plays of the day. But what about you, Ms. Lisa?
Well, I went towards this first timer of John Coriat's for Hot Barn in race number 1 on the program. I'm going back to Glashwegan because I think I made this horse my best bet last start out, and we ended up just getting beat. So I'll go back to this one more time. Ready off the rest, my fingers are crossed for Dark Screen. I'm excited to see what this one's going to do. And the other thing too is that Juan's been really hot. He's had a really good start to the year, so he should be riding this horse very confidently. And then I'm saying beware of this Barb Minchell horse, Flaunt, in race number 8. That one has really caught my eye, so we'll watch for that as a horse to maybe use in your exotics. Now, Doug has gone to the same horse as many of us have. This is also going to be a clocker horse, this first timer for John Coriat. And Frack Dancer, see, that makes me feel good about it, that Ron's gone there because Ron's talked to Mike DiPaolo. He's likely watched the works on this horse as well, and he feels confident enough to say, it's go time for this horse.
I really hope for the connection's sake the horse runs well too, because there's nothing worse, and they must have been so excited, like they win a stake race at Gulfstream. Like that's a big deal, and then the horse gets hurt.
I know. And they've been patient. They've waited their time, and so they deserve a good effort here today. We've got a couple of clocker horses.
Wow,
for
there's a ton of pressure on this one.
No kidding.
Holy
what
cow.
is it? Living the Vida Loco? No, it's what is it again? The translation? Did you say living the good life? Oh, my legacy lives on. Yeah, all right. I'm not really very good at translating.
7's named after you.
Oh, yeah? Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's even my Sunday here today. Gail Cox with She's Pretty, morning line 6-1. That's interesting. What's interesting that he's pointed out here is that he thinks this horse has worked better than the company that she's been with. So whoever Gail's been working this horse with, she's been able to beat her, and that's a good thing because she's learning how to win in her workouts in the morning, and so she'll be looking to go past that horses here today.
See, I'd rather have a horse work well in company than work well by him or herself.
That's true. Yeah, they learn something, don't they, when they go in company, and then you just got to find the right company for them.
That's true.
Alrighty, that's the 10 that we have for you today. Now, of course, as I mentioned, Jeff and I hit the pick four yesterday for a whopping $1, and we'll see if we can get it for you again here today right after this commercial break.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
quickest race in the world. Pinch me, I think I'm dreaming.
They're off, Midland Dubai World Cup.
And they're into the stretch. Two of the great racehorses in the world. Giant Killer, by name and by nature. A race for the ages.
Welcome back inside the studio, Elisa and Jeff, and now we're in the portion of the program where we stand up. So
Yes.
the first half we sit down,
Stretch a little.
and we stand up, yes, to do this one as we talk about the pick four. Now, obviously, we have a couple of pick fours that we offer here at Woodbine, but Jeff and I are famous for the early pick four, generally famous for getting 3 out of 4. But yesterday we hit it, didn't pay a lot, but at least we got it. A win's a win, we'll take it. So let's see if we can give you another one here today. Now, the fourth race, we went a little deep, right?
Right. We used the kind of the obvious ones, the 2 Drexlers and a Tyrannosaurus in this spot. You've got Last American Exit, Pine Knoll, and Classic Dancer. I'm hoping Classic Dancer can wire the field, but your top pick in that spot is going to be Last American Exit.
I did go Last American Exit, but I like the buyer, the Classic Dancer ran last
big
start out.
fig.
Big number in 82. Race number 5. Now, that's when we look at these optional $40,000 claimers. And I got to say, we have to kind of do what we tell you. And we often say we don't play the Buddy Gag horses first start out, but we find that they're very strong second start out. And so we're going to use Daddy Has Diamonds in race number 5.
I'm going to give another shot to next pitch. I'm just hoping the horse was a little bit short first time out. Most likely, we're going to toss that one in somewhat reluctantly, just because the drop down a class off a bad race. And Lumberyard, if we didn't use Lumberyard,
I'll be in trouble.
We would be in big trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Race number 6 on the program is an optional $40,000 claimer going 3/4 of a mile. Of course, we have 3-year-olds here taking on some older horses, which can be a bit of a challenge. And some of these 3-year-olds are headed towards what could be a very big season this year, Dark Screen being one of them.
I'm hoping Dark Scream runs terrific right off the layoff for sure. We're also going to use the 5 in here, and that is going to be El Cohete and Little Red Dommy. For our price point of view, we're kind of hoping for the 5 or the 6 in that
Yes,
spot.
absolutely. And then in the last leg, race number 7, which is the maiden special weight for straight 3-year-old fillies, I think we found a key for you today, and that's this 3 horse.
Let's Go Super. That's the one that we're going to use in here. We had to find a key somewhere because we want to take a bit of a stance in one of the legs, and we're hoping this first-time starter is ready to roll right off the bat.
So it's not an expensive ticket.
No,
if you want to play along
I think
with
it
us.
is.
Yeah, so if we don't cash today, I only owe Jeff like $15.
Yeah, you make that like in 5 minutes on the show. So $7.20, here we go. And so we got a little bit heavy in race 5, and we're going to have the key coming up in race number 7. So $7.20 if you want to play along for a 20 center.
Now it's a little gray outside. We did have some sunshine this morning, which was nice. A lot of people forgot what that looked like. But now it's a little gray outside, Jeff, and they are calling for some rain maybe around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock or so. But we'll see. We'll see how
I don't
it goes.
know what to say. Like, it's supposed to be warm, and it's supposed to be comfortable, and it's supposed to be spring, but this is terrible.
Yes, but good news. We have 10 races today.
That's true.
And we have some pretty exciting races. I think this is the best card of the week. So looking forward to a good 10-pack this afternoon as we have just 25 minutes on the clock to go before race number 1. Good luck.